out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yap. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yap. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Bro, I tell you, nothing hypes me up like that reel. Nothing hypes me up like that reel. And I mean, DJ Stevie Porter did a great job. What time is it? It's game time. And y'all know what it is. It's Throwback Thursday on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. And it wouldn't be the same without my brother, the OG, Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. What's up, man?
I'm with you, brother. That music does get me hyped up too, man. So that music indicates that it's Thursday and it's game time. We're ready for another Throwback Thursday on lunch break. So what's up, family? What's up, brother? Let's do this, man.
Man, let me tell you something. A lot has happened since we got together last week. Oh, what a difference a week makes. Man, we were on here last Thursday getting hyped up about U of H going into their matchup with Miami, and you said it. You said Miami was strong, bro. You talked about their backcourt, you talked about their size, you talked about their athleticism, and here we are today. U of H is out, UT is out.
Yep.
In Miami, I call them NILU is on their way to the Final Four, first time in school history. Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
And I like how AAC Commissioner Mike Oresco, he says NIL stands for now it's legal. Well,
I like that.
It fits, in a lot of cases.
Yep.
But salute to the Hurricanes, Coach Jim Larinaga, his backcourt. Well, the Cougars got Nigel packed Friday. My man hit 7 threes, many of them deep threes.
Deep threes.
And they were back-breaking threes. You could see the expression on many of the Cougs' faces like, I can't believe he made that shot.
Right.
He made another one of those.
Yeah.
It's basically, come on, man. Really?
Yeah.
That's really what it came down to. Hurricanes shot an opponent season high percentage against Houston of like 52%. Scored 89 points against Houston, another opponent high.
Right.
It's just one of those things of, and then of course they backed it up with the come from behind win over the Longhorns on Sunday to prove it wasn't a fluke. But this time, Jordan Miller had a perfect game.
Right.
With his, 7 for 7 and 10 for 10, I think, from the line. Or was it more than that? 13 for 13, I think it was. I think he scored 27 points. So I didn't even name Isaiah Wong, who was the ACC Player of the Year for the Hurricanes. So you're seeing Miami's legit.
Yeah.
They're the real deal. So they belong in the Final Four. Good luck to them.
Yeah.
But overall, Friday's win for Miami over the Cougs, it's just another indication of the tournament, the beauty and also the curse of March Madness.
Yep.
It only takes one time. It takes one player to get hot from three. And if you're just off a little bit, that's all it takes. The Cougs didn't play bad.
Right.
They didn't play Coug defense. But Nigel Pack has something to do with that.
Right. I mean, sometimes you're just on fire.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if you remember that old video game where it says he's on fire and the ball is burning hot, and wherever you throw that thing up, man, that thing goes in when he's on fire.
Because the Cougs, they cut it to 2.
Yeah.
Cut it to 3. Then Nigel Pack said, "Oh," and hit 3 threes in 2 minutes.
Yep.
And that was it. Just like sucked the life out of Houston at that point. In the last 10 minutes of the second half, it was pretty much anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Because the Cougs just didn't have it in that game. And no shade to Miami. If the Cougs and Hurricanes played a series.
Oh my God, get out of my head. Get out. I literally said that out loud. I said, if they played them in a best of 7 series, I believe the Cougs would win that series.
The Cougs might win 4-3, 4-2. But it's not a series.
It's not.
You know, it's one and done.
It's it.
You move on, survive and advance. Miami did more than survive. They lit it up.
Yeah, they did.
Norshad Ormir won his head-to-head battle against Juwan Roberts, which was a key.
Yeah.
You know, I won't say afraid of it, but I really believed that the winner of that head-to-head matchup, the team would win the game. Ormir dominated Juwan Roberts.
He did.
And Miami won that game. He won all the 50-50 balls.
Right.
You know, it's one of my jokes. It's not a good joke. It's not a funny ha-ha joke. But Juwan had 2 more rebounds than me and you did. Bro, we didn't play.
Right. Right. But that young man, Amir, literally takes rebounding like a Dennis Rodman. He is on a mission to rebound. I mean, you could tell that was his desire, and that desire paid off. Let me ask you this real quick. Quick. And off the top of your head, do not think about it. Give me your answer. Best postseason, NBA or NCAA men's basketball? I told him don't think he thinking.
Yeah, NBA.
Really?
Yeah, NBA.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, bro, we are brothers. I love you. But for me, and I mean bar none, college basketball postseason, best for me. Best for me. Because of that one and done. I like NBA playoffs. I do. But that the little guys get to play against the big guys, the blue bloods get the no bloods, and bruh, you got a ball. You can't just show up and think. You know, hold on. Let me show you how good it is. And we talking about NCAA March Madness. North Texas beat Wisconsin last night. You got 2 teams, or night before last. You got 2 teams in the championship game in the NIT from Conference USA. You got to play them, dog. You can't talk it. You got to play them.
And I meant to look this up beforehand, but North Texas and UAB, aren't they both going to the American? Seriously, I mean, aren't they? Because I know North Texas is.
They're both going.
FAU in the Final Four is also going to the American.
Going. Let's talk about that. I want to take a break, and I want to come back, and I want to talk about those teams that are going to the Final Four. And, you know, again, 3 first-timers for the first time since, I think, 1970. We'll talk about that. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, rocking with me. Throwback Thursday here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
For Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez.
And it's caught! Deebo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan can sense it.
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
That's just a little taste of what you get when you rock with the BS3 network. If you got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV and you get those and many more shows. And I'm telling you, we're changing the way you watch TV. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, get one or go to the website, bs3network.com. That's BS3network.com. And again, you're rocking with BS3. All right. Hey, Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. We're back. Throwback Thursday. You know how we do. All right, so 3 teams going to the Final Four for the first time in 52 years?
That sounds about right.
53. I'm sorry, my bad. I ain't doing my math right.
Longer than I've been alive on this earth.
So, I mean,
that's a long time.
That says something, doesn't it? I mean, but what does it say? What does that mean?
It says this is a unique year.
Yeah.
It's not a trend yet. We got to see if it becomes a trend, if it happens next year. It's just, as you said, the beauty of the tournament. But going back to your question that you asked before the break, the tournament, one and done, that's what it is. That's what makes it exciting, thrilling. I get it. I understand it. I'm not trying to change it.
Yeah.
But what I like about a playoff series is more times than not, the better team wins in a series.
Yeah. I'll give you that because I tell people all the time, I hear all that. I see what they did in the regular season, but 4 out of 7, dog. 4 out of 7. You ain't winning 4 out of 7. I don't want to hear what you did on March 13th. I want to hear about that. 4 out of 7 in May and June. 4 out of 7. 4 out of 7.
So I get it, and it's March Madness. That's what makes it great. But as the 11-year-old kid in me, going back, seeing, kind of recalling Phi Sigma Gamma and NC State. If that's a series, you cannot convince me there's no way in hell NC State wins that series.
9 out of 10 times, I give it
right.
to you.
But that's not March Madness.
Yeah.
So that might be where I get my slant toward it, because I think I've said it here on the lunch break. My man, 11-year-old me just dropped down to my knees and cried. Cried for half hour. My mom couldn't console me, nothing. There was nothing she could say to me. Just cried. I mean, ugly cry. Cried.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep. I mean, look, Michigan Duke with the timeout. You play that game 3 more times, Michigan wins that 3 more times.
UNLV Duke.
UNLV.
The year after UNLV thumped, previous year UNLV beat them by 30.
Yeah.
Next year, Duke won. Nobody thought Duke would win that game.
Yeah.
Except Duke. So if that's a series, UNLV probably wins that series. But it's not a series.
It's not.
Villanova, Georgetown.
Exactly.
Perfect game.
Exactly.
Villanova played Georgetown in a series. Georgetown probably wins that series. But it's not a series. It's the madness of March.
You're right.
So, it could probably, it's less of an issue for now on the women's side.
Okay.
But it's beginning to become an issue.
Well, when you see 2 number 1s go down in the women's tournament, that hadn't happened often.
Right. Been a long time before that happened.
A long time.
UConn not advanced to a Sweet 16. My gosh. I forgot. What was it, like 17 years in a row? UConn made it to a Final Four.
18.
There was, before UConn went on this tremendously long run of advance to the Final Four, I think LSU and Sylvia Fowles, when they made it 4 in a row, that was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
That was a huge accomplishment.
Right. Yeah.
And UConn said, okay, we got that times 2, times 3
Yeah,
times 4.
yeah.
It's unheard of, man.
But look who they lost to and how they lost. It wasn't a buzzer beater. It wasn't throwing up somebody catches it and
they
drops.
got beat.
They
Ohio
got
State beat them.
They
and
got
we talked about it. Ohio State's pressure, full court pressure defense got to UConn. Forced turnovers.
Right.
And Ohio State, with a young squad, beat UConn.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put this out there. And I'm not trying to hate, okay, because I'm very critical of Ronald Huey in the program.
Mm-hmm.
But Ohio State, the way they play
mm-hmm.
is how Coach Huey and his Cougs play.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't have those kind of players.
Yeah.
It does. Yet. Now, maybe move to the Big 12, Coach Huey can get a higher caliber player to really fit his system.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State proved this season
it works.
That pressure defense works.
Yeah.
But my man, at some point, you still got to score.
Yeah, that's true.
You turnovers, get all those steals. Great. That's great. But if you go down and miss a layup over and over and over again, and you can't make open jumpers.
Yeah. Well, that's why points off of turnover is a stat.
Right.
You turn them over, you ought to be able to put some points up.
Which Miami did against the Cougars Friday.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah.
The Cougs only had 6 turnovers in the first half. 6. That's not a bad number. That's an average of 12 a game.
Yeah.
That's about average. Miami scored 15 points off those 6 turnovers. That's unheard of, man. Yeah. That's almost perfection of 3-1.
Right. Exactly. And then what got me was Miami didn't have the letdown when they played UT. Yeah. You would expect. I mean, especially the way the game was going. I think UT led that game, 23, 24, 25 minutes?
UT was rolling. Their offense was rolling.
Yeah.
Miami was like, wow. It was fast-paced, back and forth. And Miami it couldn't keep up. And then that 10-minute mark, Longhorn started missing shots.
Yep.
Miami said, uh-oh.
13-point deficit, and they win by 7. That's a 20-point turnaround to close out the game.
Isaiah Wong and Jordan Miller came through there because Nigel Pack did not have a great game like he did against the Cougs on Friday.
Yep.
See, I'm sure Coug fans watching the game Sunday, now he's missing shots.
Right.
Now he couldn't do this Friday, but now he's missing shots. Oh, okay. So,
yeah. But they still put up 88 points.
Yep.
So
different guys. So that's what I'm saying. That's a good team.
Yeah.
Beat you with different
dudes. Man was in foul trouble most of the game.
So they beat you different ways.
NILU, I love it. I ain't mad about it. Charles Barkley went on his little rant and just sounded dumb as all day long. And I'm just sorry, man. Folks who are trying to keep this at what it used to be, I'm sorry. It's not. And I'm surprised that the new commissioner of the NCAA, president of the NCAA, is lobbying for Congress. And in fact, they had their first meeting yesterday, Wednesday, on the whole NIL situation. And I'm just like, why would you want the government to regulate your association? Why would you want them to tell you what to do with your people? I don't understand that.
Which you should be doing and should have been doing for years.
Yourself. The
reason you are begging for the government to get involved is because y'all couldn't get y'all stuff together for these last 5-10 years.
I'm glad to hear you say it because I thought it was more sinister. I thought it was because of the Nick Sabans crying and complaining and the Dabo Sweeney's crying and complaining and the Bill Selfs crying and complaining. We're using it and we should use it because we should always get the players that we want. But now these other schools, Miami, A&M, all these other schools are now getting play. Nick Saban lost out on one kid that he really wanted to Jackson State, and he ain't stopped crying since.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. That's the beauty of NIL, name, image, and likeness.
Right.
Because it's putting an end to, folks, lunch breakers, if you're new to the show, the NCAA for a long time owned name, image, and likeness of the student assets in perpetuity.
Right.
Perpetuity. Forever.
Right.
Who thought that was right? Who thought that was the way to go? Who thought that was a good thing?
Do you watch Bel Air?
No.
Okay, so they address that. Will is going to a private school. He gets kicked out of the school, and now he's joining an AAU team, and the contract gave the coach and the team control over Will's name, image, and likeness and his money forever. And Uncle Phil, who's an attorney, says, you're not owning him. You're not going, 30% right now is fine, but it will not be forever.
Right.
And again, it was just the perfect dive into what this issue is all about. And that's what the NCAA and that's what these larger schools have been doing all this time.
And they convinced a lot of folks that it was okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And see, now, man, I could go down this path.
Hey,
I could go down this path because a lot of these, too many people, I'm going to say a lot, too many of these people were okay with it because of the athletes involved look like me and you.
I understand. Now, let me ask you this. Was Ed O'Bannon the first to say, nah, bro? Or was he the first to file the lawsuit?
I think he was the first to file a lawsuit and
open
his eyes were opened up by somebody. This ain't right.
Yeah.
Looking at the video games, wait, that looks like me.
Everybody's making money off of you, but you.
Yeah.
And Todd, if you're listening, shut your mouth. I want to hear about them getting scholarships. They earned the scholarship. Scholarships are not free, and they're not just given to anybody that walks by. So they earned the scholarship.
The scholarship has nothing to do or had nothing to do with the video games.
Right.
That had nothing to do with that.
Right.
This athlete, look, he moves like me. He looks like me. That's my jersey number. But I can't get a cut of that. That's basically me in the video game. Oh no, you can't get.
Let me start a website with Nick Saban's name, with Nick Saban's image, and with Nick Saban's likeness, and let me copyright it, and let me start making a ton of cash. What's Nick Saban gonna do?
Call his lawyers.
What's Bill Self gonna do?
Yeah.
What's Coach K gonna do it?
This ain't right. Well, yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta get the law involved in here. This is no. There. Well, no. What is it?
Because it's these kids,
yeah,
assets. Yeah, here we are. That's why I have no more respect for Charles Barkley. I don't. I lost it a long time ago.
But the irony to me is, in years past, didn't Charles joke about what he got at Auburn? Didn't he do that? Am I misremembering that, brother? He did say that, right? Yeah, I'm like, Chuck, your own words out of your own mouth. Talk about what you got when you were at Auburn.
Let's take a break. We're going to take a break. We're going to reset, and we're going to come back to the Final Four, and then we're going to get over to the women's side because I got a lot to say about that. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, joining us on the lunch break. Throwback Thursday, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
This is a BS3 network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Talk Monday.
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central. Looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
Let me tell you something about the BS3 Network. We're a family, Doc. We are a family. That's why I can promote other sports talk shows on my sports talk show and not feel no kind of way about. Feel glad to be able to do it. Cole Sports, Snowman in the Morning, baby. Let me tell you something. That's all the kind of great programming you can get on BS3 TV. If you got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV and you are in. If you don't, go to the website, bs3network.com, bs3network.com, and get with it because we're changing the way you watch TV, and we're a family. And we got some stuff coming for y'all. Y'all won't see us coming. Yeah, I can't say nothing now but that. So anyway, I got my brother, my friend, my man, Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Been doing this thing longer than most folks been around. And, man, I appreciate you making time to be with us on Throwback Thursday. It's about to get busy up in here, man. About to get busy. So, now, on the women's side, Miami was about to join their brethren in the Final Four. They made it to the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, they couldn't come out of there. Kind of ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw. So, now, we got LSU. Kim Mulkey's little soft schedule, she made her way to the Final Four. Can't be mad.
Yeah, gotta respect that. Yep.
Can't be mad. And unfortunately, she doesn't have to deal with Iowa or South Carolina until the finals. But she's got a very interesting Virginia Tech team that I didn't realize was as long as they are, as many ball handlers as they had. And I saw several people putting them in from the outside and dropping them into the inside. So what do you expect with that very good LSU team versus a very interesting Virginia Tech team?
I'm curious to see how Coach Kenny Brooks handles the doubles and triple teams coming to his big girl, Elizabeth Keatley's way, because LSU, Keatley's 6'5", okay, and skilled, and can score on the block, score out high. Angel Reese, that's not a good matchup for her on the block.
On the block.
So that, and Tech has guards with handles.
Yeah.
They can shoot with range. It is the undercard.
Okay.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Because, I got so much respect for the Final Four, the men's Final Four being here in H-Town. I'm thrilled about it. No question. You and I are going to be on Radio Row on Monday, Championship Monday, all that. Looking forward to that. But my man, you cannot convince me that the South Carolina, Iowa women's semifinal game will not be the highest rated game out of these four semifinal games. Big time, undefeated team, defending champ, going against the hottest brand in college basketball, men or women. Caitlin Clark. Triple double, Caitlin Clark. Jumbo size triple double, Caitlin Clark. I'm curious to see who Dawn might throw everybody at her.
Have to.
As soon as she gets to her side of the floor's 3-point line, you just start getting in her grill, because once she crosses the half court,
it's fair game.
Might be too late because it's going up.
Yeah. And it's one and done. So she can't play around with it. She got to throw everything out.
I think ESPN is going to hype that up, hype it up. If they could, it's too late. They can't do it. If they could move that to ABC, they would, because that ratings for that should be just off the charts. and because the guys don't play till Saturday.
Right.
So eyeballs will be on Iowa and South Carolina on ESPN, man, in Dallas. Let me go ahead and say it, my man. I'm going ahead and say it. I put Sylvester Turner on watch.
Oh, I saw that. That was good.
Could you imagine having that game here in Houston at a women's Final Four in Houston? What say you, women's basketball committee, who seem to be oblivious to the fact that on the men's side, the city of Houston will be hosting its fourth men's Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
But you all seem, for whatever reason, just don't want to have women's Final Four here in Houston. And for those who are wondering, for those who do not know, the media hotels that the media will be using and staying at in Houston for the men's Final Four are in downtown Houston.
Mm-hmm.
GRB.
Mm-hmm.
Walking distance from Toyota Center.
Right.
AJ, my man, where would the women's Final Four be taking place if it were in Houston?
At the Toyota Center.
At Toyota Center.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that the men's Final Four, the media can be using the same hotels that will be used for the women's Final Four? Within walking distance.
Could be.
Not shuttles, because the media on the men's side are going to be shuttled from downtown to NRG.
Mm-hmm.
How far is that, my man? Is that within walking distance?
No.
Not even close.
Not even close.
So again, women's committee, make it make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know the deal. I heard your question to Mayor Sylvester Turner. I heard his response. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So it's either this, somebody's not doing their job, or somebody is beholding to somebody else somewhere else. And that neither one of those is not good. Yeah. Neither one of those is good.
You know, going to Dallas 2 times, and soon to be a 3rd time, San Antonio.
Yeah.
Not within walking distance. Not as close as it would be in Houston.
Yep.
And let me say, I am just a little small pebble, grain of sand on the beach. So if there are women, high-powered women here in town who have some pull, who have some sway, who have never thought about it, think about it as you're watching the lunch break.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. We've had 4 men's Final Fours here, and we can't get 1 women's Final Four?
Let me tell you what somebody said to me, though. And I'm not saying about, I'm just repeating. That San Antonio and Dallas are the most recent teams to have women's pro basketball. So they believe they have a better women's following in those towns than Houston, which has not had one since Hilton Koch.
Yeah. Okay. And my response to that, because, and I be full disclosure, and I'm not, well, no, yes, I am. I'm one of the few people in sports media here who follows women's basketball and has done it as long as I can. I'm not the only one, but it's a short list.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to women's hoops. If you're talking about attendance being a factor, I won't argue with you, because attendance for UH, HCU, TSU, Rice, women's side is not great. Hell, for any one of those programs, not Houston on men's side, it's not great. So if it's attendance, okay. But UTSA women's basketball, no. SCU women's basketball,
right?
In Dallas, no. Attendance is not great. Their teams aren't successful.
Right.
TCU has had limited success in women's basketball. So don't tell me all those things about attendance.
Yeah.
When I look at what I know. And then if it is the attendance problem, then don't have the city of Houston make it to the Final Four of cities bidding.
Yeah.
Don't bring him into that last round.
Right.
Don't waste our time.
Right.
Time, money, all those things. If it's about attendance, if it's about all these other things.
Yeah.
Because again, oh man, like I said, attendance for men's hoops in Houston. That's not a factor.
I believe that it would be great here. I believe it would be better than they think it would be here. And again, it's just a matter of doing your job. Just do it. Just do it.
And let me say this, because a couple of years ago, I think the previous bid, they involved Cheryl Swoops. They involved Cynthia Cooper. Before that, the bid before that, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got me involved as well a little bit in this most recent bid. So we because I was part of the bidding process, we thought it was I'll say in the bag, but thought it was a great shot.
Good bid, yeah.
That the city was going to be selected. Because again, walking distance, man, walking distance of Toyota Center, GRB, and the hotels. Walking distance.
Yeah.
And still didn't get picked. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So whoever the next mayor is, Miss Sheila Jackson Lee, if you become the next mayor, you think about this, make it happen. Mr. Whitmire, you become mayor. You think about why not? Why?
Yeah.
College football playoff comes here. World Cup comes here.
Yeah.
Men's Final Fours comes here.
Yeah.
All these other major events come. Super Bowl comes here. All the other things. But cannot get a women's Final Four here.
Yep. Don't forget Amanda Edwards. Amanda
Edwards, you too. I talked to Amanda about this as well.
Yeah.
And she's like, really?
Yeah.
This doesn't make it. Why? What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Got to make that happen. Got to make that happen. All right, Kris. To me, South Carolina, Iowa should be the finals. Should be the finals.
Why?
Because you just said it, man. The eyes on that game are going to be huge. It's almost like a South Carolina LSU or South Carolina Virginia Tech or a Iowa Virginia Tech or an Iowa LSU would be when you have a concert, you have your headliner close that thing out.
So would you?
Ain't nobody staying for Josie and the Pussycats.
So are you saying, are you one of those who would like to have seen a reseeding of these Final Four teams?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that has been thought about on the men's side and women's side.
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, this matchup happening in the semifinals should pour some cold water on those. See, it's rigged when they put the bracket together.
Right. No, I'll give you that.
Because if it was done for TV, if ESPN had its way, this would be a championship setup.
It would be the championship game.
Not be a semifinal matchup.
I would be for the receding on the women's side, but not on the men's side. Let me tell you why. I'm excited for Florida Atlantic. I'm excited for San Diego State. Previous home of the Claw. I'm excited for them that one of them knows we're going to the championship for the first time.
Yeah,
that's cool to me. Like, leave that alone. UConn and Miami can battle it out, but I'm excited to know that one of those teams is going for the first time. But the fact that LSU could get in the finals versus Iowa.
But okay, LSU versus South Carolina, that could be a rating winner too.
It can be. And trust me, I not only want to see LSU get beat. I'm sorry, Angel and Mama Angel. I need a girl to just be humbled. I just do, man. I mean, the way Coach Tang from Kansas State spoke to the Florida Atlantic team. I'm sorry. Tom Izzo, Kim Mulkey, Gino Auriemma, now the head coach of Maryland. That's how you do a press conference. That's how you give credit to the other team. Not this spilt milk, not these sour grapes. Just look, your team got beat. Just say that the other team was better. I'm tired of hearing, oh, we beat ourselves. You weren't playing against yourself. You got beat by the other team.
Add Mick Cronin to that. Did you hear Mick Cronin's post-game comments after they lost to Gonzaga?
I didn't.
Boy, it was basically, you got a bad whistle. The refs didn't, Gonzaga got a lot of free throws, a lot of, it was tough on us in the second half. I'm like, Mick, this is not who you are, man.
Yeah.
You becoming California, man. Y'all lost.
Same thing with Maryland, man. The way they were talking about how they were getting no calls against South Carolina. And then there's the video of the tall girl for South Carolina just standing there in the lane, got her hand up, and the girl comes up to her, she's leaning back, and then she falls down. And the South Carolina girl looks down and they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't even be taken seriously
Was that Aaliyah Boston or Camila Cardozo? Because they got two.
Cardozo.
Two trees for South Carolina.
Right. It was Cardozo. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, and you got up to a mic after that and complained about not getting the calls. And then she kept trying to, get out of it, but she couldn't. And I mean, I'm telling you, your Kim Mulkey is just a walking embarrassment when it comes to her comments. And I know they love her. She got that twang. I think this is just bad. Look at that score. I'm going to tell them to just just hush. Just hush.
Two things. I don't know who the player was for the opponent. Did you see her put her hands on the young lady's face, like wipe your tears, don't cry? Did you see that clip? Because I'm sure Mulkey supporters will say, see, AJ, what about that? She was all trying to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But second thing, this is the same Kim Mulkey who disrespected Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Disrespected her.
Yep.
So my question is, I'm going there again. That's what we do here on lunch break. As Black women, why do y'all play for this woman? She showed you right there another example of who she is.
That's right. Couple of nights ago, the McDonald All-American game, and they're naming player after player that's leaving their high school, going to LSU to play for Kim Mulkey. So, bro, they ain't listening.
Or they're cashing them checks.
Yeah, well, then there's that.
That as well. And that's, let me holler at you after the show, my man. I got some stuff to share with you. I got some tea.
You got some tea?
With you. Yeah.
I want a little tea. All right, listen, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review on the lunch break. Throwback Thursday, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
All right, a couple of more good shows, great shows right here on BS3 TV. BS3 TV. Download it from your Roku streaming device, and you got us. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, get one. While you're waiting for it, go to bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. We are changing the way you watch TV. All right, Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, Throwback Thursday right here on the lunch break. Now, Kris.
AJ?
I saw something that said that the commissioner of the NBA and them are going to opt out of the collective bargaining agreement if they don't reach an agreement here in the next couple of months. What's going on, bro?
Well, they will opt out March 31st.
Okay, so day after tomorrow.
So
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, I'm tripping. Okay.
The CBA, they still negotiate because either player side or the owner side has a clause in there to opt out, but they could still continue to negotiate because until the end of June, I believe.
End of June. Okay, that's where I got the couple of months from.
So that's
now what? Okay, so do the players retaliate if they opt out tomorrow?
The players, they're close to reaching an agreement.
Okay.
You know, little issues here. You know, the PA, the Player Association president, I forgot her name. She believes they're close. She was surprised Commissioner said what he said.
Okay.
So she believes that they are close enough to, because they extended the deadline, because the initial opt-out deadline was, I think, either middle of December or the end of December.
Okay.
So they extended it twice.
So it's obviously they're working a little bit.
So they are working, and March 31st was just a latest extension of a deadline. So hopefully Commissioner Silver, he said this as a tactic, as a ploy to push the player side along. Hey, we're close. If you guys don't, we're going to opt out. The players don't want to opt out. The owners do, because they want to. Owners, got some things they want to push for. They don't want a hard salary cap. They've kind of got rid of that as that dreaded option, because the player, that's a no-go. So we'll see how close they are. I hope they reach an agreement, because I hope there's a draft. Well, I think everything would die end after the draft.
Okay.
So they're not going to ruin the Wembanyama mania. But June 30th, if there's nothing, no summer league, no games on NBA TV of current players. It'll be all historical games. Websites will be scrubbed on NBA.com. It's horrible.
Yeah. I'm glad you're talking about it. Now, I'm also hearing that several of the owners are not okay with Golden State and the Clippers, because apparently there are salary caps, and then it's what they're doing.
Right.
They're finding a way to spend more money and more, absorbing whatever the penalties are to be like miles above the salary cap. And the owners want that fixed.
Yeah, they're trying to tweak the punishment level exceeding certain, making it more punitive if you exceed X amount over the cap. Because, obviously the salary cap has exceptions and trade exceptions, all these other kind of exceptions.
Right.
And the Warriors, they pay the most money in luxury tax. Now that money that they're paying, it goes to the non-luxury tax teams to divvy up. So the Warriors are spending all kinds of money, and some owners, the smaller time owners, believe the Warriors are buying championships. Warriors say we drafted wisely, we're keeping our guys in house, and we're paying them accordingly. So that's one of the things that they got to tweak and figure out. What could be the apron of, okay, if you go $40 million over the cap, how much should you pay in penalties? Should it be $1 for $1? Should it be $1.50? Should it be $2 for every dollar over X amount? Things that they got to figure out.
Okay.
Because they want to also incentivize teams to spend more money. And not just have the Warriors be the only team going so far over it. So they got to figure out happy medium, because even though these are all billionaire owners, some of them are cheap.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, frugal. They're frugal, cheap. Okay, so let me ask you this, though. Why is that a negotiation between the owners or, the league and the Players Association? Like, the players are not saying, hey, Golden State, go over the cap for me. So why is that part of the negotiation? Feels like that's an in-house problem to me.
Really, it is. It's a big market against smaller market.
Right.
That part of it. The players are like, spend.
Sure.
So that,
you're going to pay me. I ain't giving it back.
Yeah. So that's, the players are okay with that. It's the big market guys and the smaller market guys, smaller market folks. Well, we cannot afford, we don't get the TV money or the corporate sponsors in our city like Golden State does. So we don't have that money to spend. So let's make it more fair. So they got to figure that out.
Got it. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, breaking it all down here on Throwback Thursday. All right, talk to me about your Rockets, man. I mean, I feel like we're going to hear with the first pick in the NBA draft, the Rockets select.
I, on the other hand, sir, I believe that we're going to hear Adam Silver's. Well, actually, who's going to be is it Mark Tatum, who does the lottery, handles the lottery drawings?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to come down to, and the second pick in the lottery, of the 2023 lottery, the Houston Rockets get the second pick in the lottery, which leads to pick number 1. Opens up the envelope. The Detroit Pistons have the number 1 pick in the 2023 NBA draft. That's what I choose to believe. I'm putting it out there in the universe. I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere. Hey,
that's not gonna happen.
That's what I'm putting it out there. It's going to come down to those two teams. As the two teams with the worst records in the NBA. Last two, the odds say that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's always somebody with less odds pops up there.
Right.
But it'd be everything, not necessarily chalk, but last two envelopes to be unveiled. Detroit Rockets. And I think as Mark Tatum unveils the second, and it's going to be the Rockets. And then I will call you on the phone and yell and leave a message and leave a message and say loudly, Detroit basketball. And then going to say, Victor Wembanyama is going to be a Detroit Piston.
Okay. All right. We only got a couple of minutes left. So Victor to the Rockets is what I'm hearing. And what's this talk about James Harden coming back to Houston? What is that?
It's still out there.
It's very still out there. Like
it's growing. My man Kelly Eco, I guess a month ago now, said a 7 out of 10 chance that it would happen.
What does that do to everything that you've been building?
It sells tickets. That's what it does.
Okay,
it speeds up the process a bit in the short term.
Okay.
I think it hurts it long term.
I do too.
Because I asked Andy, I've asked Will, I asked you, would you want James Harden to mentor Victor Wembanyama?
Nobody.
There you go.
Right.
I hear all this stuff about how he's done a good job with youngsters in Philly.
Then let him stay in Philly.
Stay in Philly.
Yeah. All right, man. We got to get ready to go. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you and how busy you're going to be this weekend.
Well, I was busy. I mean, it's all started already this week. But Wednesday night, member of the Guy V. Lewis Award Committee.
And the winner was?
We announced the winner, Jalen Lowe from Fort Bend Marshall. Ronnie Courtney. So I am on the committee, been on this. This is the 12th year of the award, named for the top boys high school player in Greater Houston. I tabulate the votes, okay? And I handle the press releases.
Mm-hmm.
Got other folks who know high school boys hoops.
Mm-hmm.
But I've known Jalen Lowe's dad for a long, long time, going back to John Lucas, workouts long time ago.
Amen.
I've seen Jalen Lowe grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So because of my relationship with his dad, Marlon, I invited Jalen to be on Folks Talking Sports with me, Andy, and Willie Gibson a couple times this season. Jalen's first appearance, probably November. He mentioned that, asked him what are his goals his senior year. And he said that one of his goals was to win the Guy V. Lewis Award. So as a member of the committee, when he said that, I was proud because it was like just verification of what we have been building for so long.
Sure.
That it was important for a high school kid to win the Guy V. Lewis Award.
Wow.
So fast forward to now, I got all the votes, and I knew for like a week that he was going to win. So to see that he was going to be the winner, and to see Wednesday night him accept the award from Reed Geddes, who was our guest speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Reed, played for Coach Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
This award is special to me because of my relationship with Coach Lewis.
Sure.
So just full circle for Jalen's smile on his face. He was so happy. He was surprised.
I feel it in my heart, bro. That's
his dad told me afterwards that Jaden did not believe he was going to win the award. So he had doubts.
Mm-hmm.
So it Wednesday night just made, I was just happy. I told him, we took pictures. I said, man, I am just so thrilled for you. I'm so proud, happy for you. He's going to go to pursue his college career at Pitt. So wish him luck at Pitt.
Yeah.
So it's just a great honor.
Capel's
just Coach Capel's there. Jeff Capel is there. So yes, follow his career there.
Absolutely.
So that's part of that Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday, media party stuff, Final Four stuff, other party.
I'll see you there. I'll see you there tonight.
Yep. Yes, sir. And then Friday, we got, I think, All-Star game. And then Saturday, the games. And then Sunday, HBCU game. And then Monday, we're on Radio Row.
Mm-hmm.
So follow me, Houston Roundball Review on Instagram, Houston Roundball Review on YouTube. I'm back on TikTok for a little bit. Houston Roundball Review there as well. But, of course, HoustonRoundballReview.com. My man said it earlier, but since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective.
Love it. Love it, brother. And I love you too. I'll see you later on tonight, man.
Yes, sir. Take care, man.
All right, you too. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, doing what he do. And you know we got to get ready to go. So it's going to be a busy one for me. Friday, I'm up in Dallas. Saturday, I'm back in Houston. Sunday, I'm back in Dallas. Monday, I'm back in Houston. So as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do except meet me here for
today, it's Friday Eve, March 30th, 2023. Okay, Thursday. Number 1, more than 2,000 homes were leveled in Mississippi after Friday night's hard-hitting tornadoes, hitting the hardest, the predominantly black cities of Rolling Fork and Silver City. Utility companies are promising the return of power and water as residents and volunteers continue to sift through the wreckage of what was once their lives. Please go to the What You Need to Know newsletter to find out ways that you can help our friends in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Louisiana. Number 2, the Missouri House of Representatives passed a bill Monday that would put the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department under state control, as it was more than a decade ago. Should the bill pass the Senate, only 5 people would have control of the police: the mayor of St. Louis, Deshora Jones, and 4 other people appointed by the governor. Former Mayor Francis Slay, who got the St. Louis police back under city control, spoke out against the bill, citing a process rife with corruption, while Senate Republicans say they want to fight crime. Number 3, Wednesday, the FDA approved selling the leading version of naloxone without a prescription, setting the overdose reversing drug on course to become the first opioid treatment drug to be sold over the counter. Narcan is the best known form of naloxone, and it can reverse overdoses of opioids, including street drugs such as heroin and fentanyl, and prescription versions including oxycodone. Making naloxone available more widely is seen as a key strategy to controlling the nationwide overdose crisis, which has been linked to more than 100,000 U.S. deaths a year. Number 4, William McDonald, a 45-year-old white man, is facing up to 11 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to being a menace who targeted black neighbors at a West Allis, Wisconsin apartment complex. Incidents of McDonald's racist behavior date back to March 2021, when he slashed the tires and cracked the windshield of a black woman's vehicle parked outside her apartment. The FBI and local police connected McDonald to the federal hate crimes with the use of surveillance footage and matching handwriting samples. The Department of Justice did not specify if he also admitted to being involved. Number 5, we're just a day away, and happy April. It's officially spring and the astrological new year. This month has the potential to really be a new beginning for so many of us, but with the planets really spread across the zodiac, it's going to be very important that we are mindful of what the energies of April 2023 bring. Check out more from Ms. Astrology in today's What You Need to Know newsletter. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Don't change yourself to make others happy unless that someone is you. All right. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Ms. Astrology as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partner, the American Heart Association. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.